Hello everyone. Several months ago I created a video on the TPMS that I have on my motorcycle, and just a couple of months ago I did a follow-up because the app had changed. And in both of those videos I mentioned at some point I would do a long-term review. Well, today's the day. When I put the tire pressure monitoring system on my bike in December of 2020, I wanted to wait a little bit before I even created the first video to get an idea of how it was working. And in that video I mentioned that I will do a long-term review at some point to let you know how it was going. Well, about the time I was going to be putting together a long-term review, I found out from one of the viewers in the comment section of that video that he couldn't find the app and the app had changed. So then I created another video on the new app. So I postponed doing my long-term review so I could basically make a judgment between the two apps. So that's what I'm going to do today. So first let me just say that the reason why I'm going to review the old app at all, knowing that it's no longer available, is for some of you that may be using that app, and number two, in case the manufacturer decides to bring that app back. That's why I'm going to talk about the old app at all. So in fact I will start with the old app, but before I do that, first I want to mention that the way that the tire pressure monitoring system functions mechanically and electronically is that the sensors will send a Bluetooth signal to your phone only after they sense motion. So to get the sensors to function or to wake them up, you must have the bike in motion. So for me, what I do is I open up the app first, and then generally when I go for a ride on my motorcycle, I usually just back the motorcycle out of my garage, and then at that point I will start it up. But that little bit of motion, just a couple of tire rotations that it takes for me to back my bike into my driveway, is enough to have the sensors sense motion and they begin sending the signal to the app. So at that point I can see the app change once I've gotten it out. Another way that I have experienced this happening as well is just simply starting the motorcycle is enough to cause some vibration and send the signal to the app. But anyway, so I just want to let you know that. So if you just walked out to your motorcycle and opened the app, you're not going to have a current reading. And one of the ways that I can tell whether or not I have a current reading is just by the ambient temperature, because it shows the temperature reading as well. So I can tell that the app is still displaying where it left off the last time it was getting its signal, which is generally after the last time I rode the bike. So the temperatures are generally higher because the tires are going to be much higher and the tire pressures are going to be higher than they are when they're cold when you first start up your motorcycle. But anyway, that's how you get the apps to wake up. So that functions the same regardless of which app you're using, whether it's the old one or the new one. Now, let me start with the old app. And as you can see here on the screen, you just simply tap the app and it is open. Now, one of the things that some of the things that I like about this app is if there is a problem with your tires, the way in which it notifies you is pretty good. In fact, there are several ways in which it notifies you. For one, it will put a banner up on your screen, and as you can see here. But first let me qualify this when I'm talking about your phone. In this case I'm only talking about the iPhone, so I have no other experience with any other phone. So if any of you have another phone and you have experience with this app and this system, and if anything differs in any way, feel free to chime in on the comments to note those differences between your system and iOS. But anyway, so moving forward, so it'll throw a banner up on the screen. It will also vibrate, and it will also give an audible alarm. Alright, so all of that happens in real time as soon as it gets the signal. Now, a couple of things that I don't like about this particular app is as far as the low pressure parameter, in order for you to get an alarm, it has your tire pressure would have to go down to 29 psi. Well, I keep mine at about 42 psi. So for me, I've lost a lot of air pressure waiting for that alarm to come on. All right, generally, your tire pressure is not going to drop below the pressure that it was when you started your ride. So I would want that threshold to really only be a couple of psi below where it started. Now, another thing I don't like about this app is the measurement that it uses for the temperature of the tire. Now, not that that's important. I'm more concerned about pressure than I am the temperature, but nonetheless, it only measures in Celsius. It would be nice if they had an alternative measurement, and you can select Fahrenheit as well. But anyway, so those are the two main things that I do not like about this app. But other than that, it's been working great. So now, let's fast forward and move to the new app, and from what I can see at the App Store, this is the only app available right now. So it has some pluses and it has some minuses. So let's start with one of the minuses is what you need to do to open the app. So first, this company, it looks like in order to launch the app, you have to launch what looks like a company app that is a holding place for all of the different apps, for all the different products that they make. So when you first open it, you then have to choose among which of their other apps you have. In this case, I only have one app, and that's for the TPMS. But they make many products and many apps, and those would all go in there as well. So what was one touch of an icon is now two, but nonetheless. And another thing I don't like about this app is you have to register. I didn't need to register the old app, but this one I do. So that takes some time to get that going, and I'm not really sure what the point is. But anyway, so once I'm in the app, I will start with some of the things that I do like about it. Is they fixed to some degree the two things I didn't like about the old app. First, the temperature measurement. They did now add Fahrenheit as an option, so that takes care of that. The other one, they did raise the threshold for the low pressure sensor. They raised it a little bit. It's not as high as I would like it, but at least it went from 29 up to 36. So at least it's a start. It's a move in the right direction. So at least I will get notified now when my tire pressure hits 36 rather than having to wait until it goes all the way down to 29. Another thing I do not like about this app is anytime this app is on, it tends to hijack the volume from my Cardo PackTalk communication system. And by that, it almost mutes the audio. It reduces the audio coming out of my PackTalk to such a degree that it's very difficult to hear the music. And the old app did not do that. If the old app needed to take over to warn me of something, then yes, it would mute. It would actually pause the music that I had playing on my phone. But this one reduces the volume in such a way that it's almost hard to hear. So, and it does that the whole time the app is running. So that's one of the things that I do not like about the new app. In fact, it's the main thing I don't like about it. So, and because of that, if I am out riding and I'm wanting to play music, which is most of the time, that's why I do not use the new app. At this point, I use the old app, and I prefer the old app for that reason. So having said that, it would be nice if they kind of made a combination between the two. And in this case, I prefer the old app. I even prefer the looks of the old app. I'd prefer to look at a VMAX rather than a scooter. But if they took the old app and just added some of the features of the new one, such as increasing the low pressure threshold and adding the Fahrenheit option, they would be on to something. I also like the old app because of the way it warns you in several ways. The new app will warn you as well, as you can have a listen here.
FW, low pressure.
And it's obvious that English is a second language for this app. But anyway, so my preference is the old app. But so to summarize all of this, First and foremost, I like the tire pressure monitoring system, and having used one now, I will definitely always have one on the motorcycle. So if anything happens to this one, I will definitely put another one on the bike to replace it. But my advice to anyone considering a TPMS for your bike at this point, based on my experience with these two apps, is before you purchase one, see if you can download the app first and play with it and see how it functions and see how it interacts with anything else you may have on your bike, such as any other Bluetooth. But get to know the app first if you can before purchasing the system, because I think mechanically and electronically, as far as Bluetooth is concerned, I have a feeling all of those sensors pretty much work the same way. So it's really a matter of the functions of the app itself and the features. So let that be the thing that probably guides your decision on which TPMS product that you end up getting in the future if you decide to get one. So hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can see every time I post a video, which currently is every Friday morning at 5:30 U.S. Central Time. See you next time.